What's going on, MSFers? Doolum here, back again with another video. When today we're going to be talking about Sentinel. That's right, the first of the Orcus team to be released. He is going to be Villain, Global, Tech, Protector, and then obviously Orcus. So if we look here, his speed is only 107, so pretty slow, but he is a Protector, so that's kind of standard for Protectors. He has 100 shard unlock, so get those cores out and ready to go. But let's get into his kit here. Sentinel Blast, it's pretty much just a punch to the face, does some damage, applies offense down, and then gives counter to Orcus allies or self. And then it's just more damage. And then the T4 is a little bit more damage, and then it's apply counter to self and all Orcus allies. So instead of 3, it would just be all of them. So it would include the 4th one, so it's literally just like 1 extra counter. So I think this T4 is kind of meh, because it's literally going from 3 to 4 instead. So it's kind of eh. But the bots, I'm almost positive, are also Orcus. So it's going to apply to the bots as well. So the bots are definitely worth getting counter as well. And I think there's more than one. Yeah, there's 2 bots. So the bots are definitely worth getting counters as well. So that's pretty nice. So the T4 could be pretty good, honestly, because it's going to give those counters to the bots as well. So that's not a bad one at all. I would say probably honestly do that one. I would say that's a recommended one. For the special, we got Neutralized Target. So summon 1 random Sentinel reinforcement ally, attack primary target for 100% damage. Apply deflect to self and all Orcus member. And then obviously the possible summons are the gun or the sword, and we'll go over those as well. Apply defense up to self and all Orcus. Bonus attack an additional time. Apply defense down for 2 turns. And then bonus attack 1 additional time. And then apply 2 deflect. I think this one's pretty interesting. I don't think this really needs to be a T4 unless you really want a lot of deflect, because you're already applying 1 deflect to all Orcus, but maybe you want more deflect, especially if you've got a smaller team and you don't want them dying as much because they're going to be, 3 yellow, 3 red. So you want more deflect to make sure they're blocking a lot more damage, because remember, deflect is just a guaranteed block chance. So may want to make sure that they're having a lot more deflect to survive. So let's get into the summons now as well. So for the first one, Sentinel Gun. And remember, this scales off of his basic, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, keep that in mind. So attack primary and adjacent targets for 70% damage. In raids, gain taunt. So this is the Sentinel reinforcement gun. Then it's just damage, damage, damage. And then the T4 is in raids, reduce speed bar by 10% on primary and adjacent targets. So this is a potential 6-character rewind, which is really nice. And then this will go off of Sentinel's passive. So on spawn, flip all negative effects for self and all Orcus allies. That's when this guy comes out. In raids, on turn, if a Sentinel ally has died and is currently not an ally, revive Sentinel with 5% base health. Then attack self for 100% of this character's max health, ignoring death proof, so essentially he kills himself. And then it gets more and more health on revive. It gets all the way up to 5, 10, 15, 20, 30%, so that's pretty good. And then generate 1 ability energy for a random non-summon tech ally that is not at full energy. So this is pretty good, and this will scale with Sentinel's passive as well. And then the reinforcement, so it's pretty much attack primary, in raids, gain taunt. In raids, apply bleed, flip 1 positive effect to a negative effect, and then the T4 is just more damage. So this one's not really important, but the other one, the rewind by 10% for primary and adjacent, is really, really good. Now for the passive for him, it's again a revive. It's pretty much the exact same thing, but this one is going to be on spawn, apply deflect to self and all Orcus allies, and then it's got the same revive mechanic and then the same energy mechanic as well. So that's pretty good. So given the summons go off of what the main character's T4s are, the basic is an absolute must now, because you want that rewind from the Sentinel gun, I think it was, from the Sentinel gun. Yeah, you definitely want that rewind because they mirror the level of the main character. So let's get into the ultimate now. Elimination Protocol. This is also going to summon Summon one random Sentinel reinforcement ally, attack primary and adjacent targets for 120% damage, apply offense down, and then the possible summons, obviously, and then this attack is unavoidable. It gets more damage, and then this attack gains 25% damage per Sentinel reinforcement ally. So that's going to be the minions that are up, not the Orcus allies. I like how they did these two different names there. Instead of Orcus ally, it's Sentinel reinforcement ally, and instead of like Orcus minion, it's got like an actual lore to it, which I like. More damage, primary and adjacent. Again, more damage, and then another 25% damage per Sentinel reinforcement ally, so it can do up to double damage for 100% extra if you have both the minions up. And then always summon one Sentinel reinforcement gun ally and one Sentinel reinforcement sword ally. So this T4 is absolutely essential because when you use this ult, it's going to summon both of them instead of just one of them. So this is going to guarantee that they both get on the field, and both of them have good uses. So that's really, really nice to guarantee it instead of relying on RNG. And then if you want gun, you get sword instead. But then if you want sword, you get gun instead. So this T4 is invaluable. Absolutely do this. Cut down on the RNG. Don't freak out about it. And don't worry about having to figure out if you're going to get gun or if you're going to get sword and having to reset if you get the wrong one. It's not worth it. Next up, we got Mutant Hunter on spawn and on revive. Summon one Sentinel reinforcement ally. So that's really cool. Remember the revive mechanic from the summons here of them killing themselves and then reviving as well. So that's going to, one of them is going to die, kill himself, revive Sentinel, and then on spawn and on revive, he's going to summon another one. So it literally just replaces it. On this character's first turn, gain taunt. So it's a pre-taunting tank with safeguard. That's pretty awesome. And raids if this character has 4 or more Orcus allies, enemies cannot gain death proof. Also really nice. And then on this character's first turn, apply safeguard for 2 turns to self and all Orcus allies. This is an absolute must T4 because safeguard is extremely good, especially for 2 turns. I really like this passive, honestly. Taunt and safeguard is always really good. Obviously, we have Gladiator right now who's got taunt, safeguard, defense up, and immunity. This is just taunt and safeguard, but still a safeguard taunt that can't be flipped unless you're using like Ares Awaken passive or APOC is really, 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 really good. And then for his ISO class, since Sentinel Blast, the basic here, gives counter to self and all Orcus, and you want a lot of counter attacks up, I think that's going to be really nice. I think Striker is going to be the best for him. I think you could put Fortifier on him at lower stars because he does have that taunt and safeguard, so he's going to have taunt no matter what for a while. But I really think Striker is going to be good for him in the later star levels because of these extra counters you're going to get. But I'm not really sure, honestly. I think Fortifier is going to be the way to go to start off, again, because of those low stats. And he's going to have taunt, so he's going to be taking a butt kicking to start the fights off. But that's going to be it for Sentinel. I'm underwhelmed. Very underwhelmed. A lot of it is locked behind summons, which summons are immediately deleted by Kestrel, or you feed into them with new warriors, or you feed into them with Death Seed. So I'm not a big fan of summons in general making a team work. And then he's also a pre-taunting safeguard character, so if you don't have him at big stats, that could be detrimental for you and not really good. But he's kind of meh. He's okay. I think the summons are pretty cool. That the rewind is really nice from the Sentinel gun. I'm never gonna remember that. Sentinel reinforcement gun. I got that right. This rewind is really good, but it's only in raids. It seems like this team is gonna be only for raids. Now, there could be a case to be made for Dark Dimension 7 for them. Maybe Dark Dimension 8 for them as well. I would say Dark Dimension 7, because they're a full tech team. Now for Dark Dimension 8, they are all villain global, so I think this would be your best team to take to Dark Dimension 8, given the longevity of this team since they are brand spanking new, so that is pretty helpful. But that's going to be it for this one, MSFers. Until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, y'all.